Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy Don Benito, and I would like to apologize for my absence, but I am back, and I'm not going to waste your time. I am going straight into it because it is game day. We are playing in the Europa League. We are playing against Olympique Lyon. It is going to be a feisty one. It is going to be an interesting one. Now, let us unpack what has been happening throughout this week right up until today. So, first thing, the first story that's going on out there that's just driving everybody crazy. Well, okay, not driving everybody crazy, but you know what I'm saying. Onana and Matic. What's going on there? Some exchange of words. And then Ruben Amorim with Diogo Dalot presser. We will talk about what was said in that press conference. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the injury updates. Who has been back? Who has been doing what? It's exciting times at Manchester United. Some of the guys have been back from their injuries. And it is just, everything is good. And last but not least, I will give you my predicted lineup based on everything that has happened, injuries, player performances, and I'll give my example or I'll give my reasons as to why this should be our starting lineup. So let's jump into it. So Onana and Matic have made this cup tie a little bit more interesting than usual. It's almost like a young throwback in the sense that you've got somebody that is picking up quotes or misunderstanding another player and using that as fuel and taking it and going into the media with the journalist, trying to stir up some trouble. We love this, guys. This is the kind of shit that we live for. But you know what? In the beginning, when I was reading about what Onana said, I was actually taken aback because I was asking myself, wait, Matic has not won a trophy at United? Is that even possible? And then I just started to look back and look back and look back. And this guy has come second in the Premier League. He has played in those competitions, but we haven't actually won. And I'm trying to deep it even more. And I'm realizing that I think this guy, correct me if I'm wrong, Matic probably came after Jose Mourinho. Like, after he was sacked, or like he was brought in, Mourinho came in, Mourinho got sacked, but Matic stayed. Anyway, I just couldn't believe that Matic had not won a trophy at Manchester United. I could have sworn I've seen Matic lift up a trophy at Manchester United. I swear. That's one of those, I guess maybe you could say it's like a Mandela effect or whatever. I don't know. But when I heard the statement, I'm like, that can't be true. But then I deeped it and I'm like, whoa, it is. Because it's been a minute at Manchester United since we've won anything. And there were those periods that, especially during the Ole time, I think that was one opportunity that we should have that we probably should have capitalized on the situations that we're in. I think during that period, we lost a lot of finals, Europa finals, certain games. But I had no idea that Matic had not won anything with United. Now, where is all this spat coming from? In the weekend against Man City, after, Onana had some words. He discussed the next game, meaning against Lyon. Now, I don't know if people want these footballers to be gagged or whatever, not to say what they feel or not say something so that in case it doesn't come back and bite you in the ass or something like that. I don't know. But Onana just pretty much just was saying that, look, we're looking forward to the game. We're going to beat those guys, blah, blah, blah. Like insinuating that we're going to take the fight to Lyon. We're going to dominate them. We're going to win because we're Manchester United. Now, Matic, ex-player, I'm guessing he took that out of context. I really do. Because he was then in the press conference asked questions about what was going on at this time at Manchester United, and he passed a certain comment. And he passed this comment via, well, not via, but basically you could say he was targeting Onana. So because of what Onana said with regards to Manchester United, we are going to win, like we are not afraid of Lyon, like they can bring it, like in his response, he was like, when you are one of the worst goalkeepers in Man United's history, you need to take care of what you are talking about. Now, I completely understand why Matic said those things. Matic, ex-Chelsea, came to United. Sorry, came to United, the best team in the world, like one of the best teams in England, or the best team in England. Realized the gravitas and the tradition and everything that comes with Manchester United. Fell in love with Manchester United. He is taking a shot at Onana because I guess you could say he loves, and this is just rivalry. But I can tell you one, right? I think I can say this with my chest, that I think Matic is one of those ex-players that has respect for the club. I don't think he meant any malice in what he was saying. I actually think he misunderstood Onana. I think he misunderstood Onana. So Onana, after having said that, he kind of clapped back, and he was basically saying, look, I am not disrespecting any club. I'm not that guy no, I'm not. All I was just trying to say is that my club is going to do this and do that. And then just to add a little bit of zest or a little bit of sauce to his statement, to make sure that Matic understands his place, he says, at least I've lifted trophies with the greatest club in the world. And those were shots fired. Now, in context to what we are about to witness in the Europa League tonight, I think this is a juicy prelude to what we're about to witness at during that game. It is, like I said in the beginning, it is a throwback to the kind of rivalry that used to exist back in the days. A player would say one thing, and it would rub the player that is like the opponent the wrong way, and the opponent would be like, "Rah! Like, is this what you were doing? Okay, let's do this." So there was always that motivation. One player that I can tell you has that thing is Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal has, like, since he broke into the scene, and I think you guys can agree with me, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, what I'm talking about. Every time one of these senior players that's older than him, and I'll give you an example, during the Euro, Rabiot coming out there talking to you about Yamal, saying, yeah, he's a kid, he needs to work hard, he needs to do this, Yamal's like, all right, I don't talk, I do. Me, I do action. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. And he went there and made people dance. And that's the kind of player, or the kind of rivalry, or kind of thing that we are getting here. A player that just listens. Cristiano Ronaldo, you cannot say anything bad about Cristiano Ronaldo without him hearing about it and then making you pay on the pitch. So I like this. It gives some Michael Jordan-esque, where he looks for something to motivate him. Like he needs something to anger him so that he can turn this game on. So I'm really excited about this. Personally, I don't think that Lyon is going to beat Manchester United over both legs. I think we're going to let me not say comfortably, because hey, you never know. I can say this. I think we are going to go through in this competition. For one, I think the experience is there. Yes, we're going to meet the likes of Lacazette and the works and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think... Man, look, the French league is weak. The only team that is firing on all cylinders in that French league is PSG. Now, if we were playing PSG, that would have been a completely different story. because the PSG that you are seeing playing football now is magnifique. I'm not saying that Lyon is there. Nah, Lyon are way behind PSG, which is why I think that we have a chance. Because if it's not PSG, anything else is not strong. Do you understand? Which makes our job a lot easier. Like if Manchester United was in the French league, we'll probably be second behind PSG because PSG will probably be stronger than us. However, in those once-off games, you never know. Now, this is where uh so a lot of these players have been doing this, so I'm enjoying the excitement, the back and forth. If, for example, if Matic beats Onana, Onana is going to have to deal with the backlash that's going to come with it. It is what it is. You put yourself out there, take it like a man. If you end up losing or causing howlers and doing nonsense, that's on you. You put yourself in that platform or in that space to respond and say whatever you have to say. So if you end up fumbling or doing whatever, he has to take the heat for it. Same as Matic. That is the price of talking or being combative and exchanging of words or blah, blah, blah. You take the heat that comes with it after. You have to back it up. So I'm excited to see these boys back it up. I'm really excited for today's game. I personally think we're going to win, but we'll talk more about that because we're going to be talking about, we're going to discuss the starting lineup and who I think will be playing and blah, 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 blah. So, Ruben and Dalot presser. Very interesting presser. Couple of questions there, injury updates, and a lot of things there. Ruben said. Injury updates. Kobe Mainoo is back. He's on the grass. He's not fully integrated, but he's back. Toby Collier has picked up an injury. Apparently, he's not going to be back, and I'm worried about that. I like Toby. Toby is, you see, when you look at Manchester United, we have our signings and the players that we've brought in with big money, right? Players to come in there and do the job. Academy players, they always play second fiddle unless he's absolutely amazing. Now, I'm not saying that Toby Collier is a bad player. Absolutely not. In fact, I think he's right up there with the very best young talent out there. But he's picked up an injury. And it is actually very tricky for him at this very moment because we thought that this would have been his breakout season. The season where he's going to remain a consistent player coming in and out, but he's picked up something and he might not be available. Another person that might not be available for this game is Matic. Sorry, Matthias de Ligt. Our gaffer calls him Mata. It was like Mata is not yet back, so that's also another one. So which already gives you an indication of who's going to be playing today. If De Ligt is not there, then you already know that Dalot is going to be playing. Well, according to me. So yeah. And then Dalot was asked some very interesting questions. He was asked about how he takes care of himself, how he has always managed to be available. And I think the journalist was Beth from the United Stand, and she was like, Cristiano Ronaldo name dropped you as one of the players that he believes is going to succeed because of your work ethic and all that. So can you explain to us what advice can you give these youngsters, like in the way you take care of yourself and carry your and he gave a very interesting, very good answer because when we bought Dalot was injured. Or he picked up an injury. One of the other. I think he was injured. It was one of the craziest signings that I was like, eh. And I think it was Jose Mourinho. Because he was at Porto. And we were like so excited for this modern day fullback, wingback, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But he was there. But he was injured. And we knew that we're going to have to wait for a long time or for some time before we actually see Dalot play. And Dalot's response was like, look, I went through basically he was insinuating that he went through a very tough period. And he had to overcome. He overcame it. And then he also got advice from Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, if there's any player in the world that is looking to get in shape or maintain their physical abilities or whatever the hell you want to call it, if there's any advice, I think the one person that you'll go to is Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo at the time was at Manchester United, so it made it easier. You know, it made it easier for Cristiano Ronaldo to even, you understand? It made it easy for him. So I understand. So Diogo Dalot was asked, and he was like, "Look, you have to be obsessed. I was obsessed with being fit and not getting my injuries again." So that is the first step, which I 100% agree. If you want to achieve something, you gotta want it so bad that it is the only thing that you are trying to conquer, whatever. You will get there. And I absolutely believe that that mentality that he used. Look, I've always praised Diogo Dalot for his availability, his fitness prowess. I've always said it. I said this guy is a professional. I remember the interview that Cristiano Ronaldo said that Diogo Dalot, he actually name dropped Diogo, saying that he is the one player that he believes has got that longevity in football compared to all these other people. He said it. He said it. So, like, who are we to argue with the GOAT? Like, I'm not going to sit here and start saying that, nah, Cristiano Ronaldo was talking shit. Nah, he was talking facts because we are seeing it. Diogo Dalot is fit. He's always available. He's not the best player that we want and doesn't really please me sometimes, but oh my God, this guy is available. You can never win anything without players being available. One of the biggest problems that Manchester United has is our injury crisis. Like, imagine if Mount didn't get injured this season. Imagine, right? Imagine Ugarte never got injured once. Imagine, just imagine. Imagine Ahmad not picking up an injury. Imagine, just imagine. Imagine that. Some of the best players that we've, like, we're picking the starting line. Like, Liverpool has been doing this. It's only now that they're slowly picking up, they're looking strange-ish, you know, looking a little bit weak, but the beginning, they were smacking everybody left, right, and center, and they had their full squad. Everybody was there. Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk, Kunate, McAllister, Curtis, Diogo Dalot, Diogo, what's that guy? Hey, Mo Salah, Szoboszlai, Nunes, Luis Diaz. All these guys, that main core and everything, they've not missed anyone via injury. You cannot compete for the top stuff if you don't have players. So that's my thing. So the youngsters, any player out there, listen to Diogo Dalot when it comes to advice about staying fit and being in top shape and trying to be there. Like, one time, he was asked about the intensity of the game against Man City. He answered it very, very well. I think it was a very good answer. He was like, listen, I will tell you, I was part of the game. The game was tough. Like, you can ask the Man City players, you can ask even our players. Both sides were trying to win. You, as a fan, we understand, and you are entitled to your own opinion. But we did everything in our power to try and not concede. And he said something that was very interesting, which is why I was like, salute. Because, you know, one thing about Manchester United this season is that sometimes when we concede certain goals, it's very difficult for us to come back. And it was crazy for me to hear Dalot say something along those lines, because he literally identified that, look, we knew that if we gave these guys an opportunity to score, it would have been difficult for us to come back because we're playing. So when he said it, I understood it, I grasped it, and I'm like, you know what? Fair play. Like, I understand where you're coming from with that, and you know what, that was a very good answer. But I mean, I didn't give my say about the Man City and the derby. That derby game was kind of bland. You know, it was not your typical Manchester derby. It wasn't something that like, yes, you were excited before the game. The game kicks off, you don't get that excitement. You don't. There was nothing about that derby that screamed anything like the past rivalry or anything like that. That game was one of its kind. Like, it was new. Like, it was new for both, like, for us, the people that were watching. I mean, you look at Man City. Man City are down to their knees, missing players. Things are not working out. They could be out of Champions League spot. And then you've got us transitioning into this new system, new manager, injury play. Like, things are not going. So that game was weird. In fact, I thought that game was going to explode. I really did. I thought like it was gonna be one of those better of City need the points because look, they keep dropping further down the pecking order. Manchester United, we need this win. You like it or not, we need the win. So we're not gonna choose that. Nah, we needed the win. So I don't know. I just thought I was gonna see fireworks. I was happy with the performances by the guys. I was very pleased. We didn't lose. I will always take a draw over a lose any day. Any day of the week. Like, draw than lose, I'll take a draw. So I was happy that we managed to do that. Now, let's get into my predicted lineup. So, in the press conference, Ruben Amorim was asked about Altay Bayende, and basically they were asking whether if Altay will be back into the Europa squad. And not in so many words, but the gaffer basically said that now Onana will take over. And I don't think that he's willing to chop and change anything at this period right now. Especially now we're in the quarterfinals. I don't think he's going to try and disrupt the momentum that we have. So it looks like Altay will probably not see much of him up until the end of the season. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but he's not starting this game. So, with that being said, let's do our starting lineup. Now, at the back, Onana, what's his name? We'll have Onana at the back. Our back three will be comprised of Harry Maguire, Nusai Mazraoui, and Lenny Yoro. That defense did very well against Man City. You know, it was just there holding it down, doing its own thing. I was pleased. I was happy. Big ups to the guys. And then in that midfield, I am going with Kase and Ugarte. And the reason why I'm going with Kase and Ugarte is because, look, I'm not going to accept that Ugarte is not good enough. I am not going to accept this on and off with Ugarte. 1 minute he's there. Like, I don't get it. There's an issue there now with Ugarte. Because he's supposed to be the guy that is coming in to replace Casemiro. He's younger than Casemiro. My God, Ugarte is what, 23? 24? This guy is young. But somehow at this moment and period in time, we can't get... He was good. Then he keeps coming off. Like, what is it? Is he not gelling? Does he need to keep on playing? Is he like Casemiro, where he needs a lot of games under his belt to get the juices flowing? But when that happens, he picks up an injury, then he's out, and then we can't have him. And then it's like that. So, I think Ugarte is back. I saw him in the training ground. The last game, he came out, and I think the other game, he didn't play, right? So, I will have Manuel, Ugarte, and Casemiro in that midfield. But they need to be very, very disciplined. There's a reason why I'm putting Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro in there, because I'm removing Bruno from that central position. I'm taking him further up. And then on the sides, of course, we're going to have Diogo Dalot and Patrick Dogu. Dogu has been good. Good signing. I like him. He bombs. He's got the chest. He's got the lungs. I don't know if these guys from Lyon are going to be able to handle Dogu's energy. But if he can bring that energy that he had against Man City, perfect. Dalot needs to. I don't know what these guys need to do, but they need to communicate in a way where it's like, look, you guys, we get it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then in those number 10 positions, we're gonna have Xerxes and Bruno. And then up top, we're gonna have Rasmus Højlund. I have removed Garnacho. Again, I am sick and tired of. Look, I know what I am saying about Garnacho sounds harsh. I know. I understand and I am aware. But look, he is not a baby. And I'm not going to baby him. At this point, he is missing chances. He is very selfish. Like, in my language, to say, we say, Hayeleweki, like, he doesn't make sense. Like, it's very difficult to understand what's going on with Garnacho. All the opportunities that were being given or whatever, he doesn't take them. Every time I watch Garnacho, I miss Ahmad more because I always feel like Ahmad would have made the best decision. Ahmad's brain would have made him decide otherwise. So I want Garnacho to come off the bench for this one because I truly believe Garnacho off the bench is a problem. Because every time he comes off the bench, he plays like somebody that has something to prove. He plays like somebody that needs to, like, he wants to get in the action right then and there. Like, he's like, Garnacho's cameos as a sub, go back, check them out. They are always fire. Not when he starts the game and then he plays almost 90 minutes, 80 minutes, and he does fuck. Nah. So for this game, I didn't put Garnacho in my team, in my predicted starting line. I have Xerxes and I have Bruno. The reason why I have Xerxes is because, look, Xerxes has come into himself. Xerxes has cemented his place in Manchester United first team. He's playing well. He's more aggressive. He is a hybrid. He can play in the number 10 position. He can also play in that as a striker. Now, we know he's not a typical striker, but he can do a job there. Now, Ruben Amorim was even saying, look, I really wish Xerxes can be a little bit more selfish. And I agree. I 100% agree with Xerxes. He should be a little bit more selfish. But what we are seeing him produce is absolutely marvelous. Now, you add that with Bruno, somebody who is relentlessly always trying to make sure that we are always pushing, we are always going, moving forward. There is no time for complacency in this starting lineup. There is no time, absolutely no time for complacency, which is why I didn't put Garnacho. Because we put Garnacho in there, it's like, okay. He's a youngster, he's good, I understand. I'm not even taking that away from him. But he needs a rest. Now, would I be surprised if Garnacho starts in this game? No. Because, again, like I said, we are playing against Lyon, French league. The level, the intensity has dropped a bit. It will be up to the players there to see what, like the French players, like how they're going to dish out what they dish out. But I don't see it like that. So already, I'm not saying that they're a weaker team, but because of our leagues, we're already going to a lesser side. I'm not saying that Lyon is a weak team. I'm not saying that. They could beat us here and then that will be it. But I'm very defiant. There's this youngster that I think they're 21-year-old. I forgot his name. He's a hot shot. He thinks he's all that. He's a good player, very technical, very good on the ball, very gifted. But big man, you're playing against Manchester United. Relax yourself. Relax yourself. You've never played against us. Like, this is probably going to be the first time he does. So he must relax himself. So, let's go through that starting lineup again. Onana, Mazraoui, Maguire, Yoro. Midfield, Ugarte, Casemiro. Fullbacks, wingbacks, whatever you want to call them. Patrick Dogu, Diogo Dalot. The number 10s, Xerxes, Bruno. And then up top, Rasmus Højlund. Let's go. So that is my starting lineup. What do I think Manchester United, how do I think Manchester United is going to do? On the Manchester United app, I predicted that we would win 3-1. 3-1. Yeah, that is my prediction. It could be 2-0. It could be 2-1. But Manchester United is going to win. I don't think we're going to draw. It'll be interesting if we draw. Like, I'll be surprised because I'm not expecting it as you hear me saying it. But I think we're going to beat Lyon. And I'm not saying we're going to beat Lyon out of arrogance. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here pompous and saying that, yeah, Manchester United is the best. No. I respect them as a club. I respect our opponents. I just gauge, and I also watch French football. I look at Lyon games and I look at our games and I look at the two teams and I look at where we are and where they are. Yes, you could argue that Lyon are in a better position than we are in our respective leagues. However, like I said, if Manchester United was in that French league, they'll probably be first or second behind PSG. So that is it for today. Thank you everybody for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. Please check us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you name it, we are there. Check us, smash a like, leave a comment, and thank you for joining the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito, and I'm out.